align our spine and our body as well as we can, really, right? And then let's start with just a couple of very simple pelvic tilts. So we're finding our wagon wheels. Both hip bones are parallel to each other, and we're moving both hip bones together in complete synergy, in unison. It's the right and the left doing the same thing at the same time. And it's very important to check in on that. We all have our imbalances, and everybody has a pelvic imbalance to some extent. And so one hip moves faster than the other or more than the other. We're going to slow down the faster hip, and we're going to rein in the more mobile hip. And just do 3 more. Sits bones heavy, sticking your butt out, going into your 6 o'clock, and then pelvis tilts towards you, 12 o'clock. Low back is going to be probably really heavy in the ground. Sits bones heavy, find a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, letting the pelvis tilt towards you, spilling the soup towards your face, and then just coming to rest, slightly with a pelvic tilt away from you, slightly anterior tilt, 6 o'clock. And then just finding your heavy kidneys without losing your 6 o'clock. If we overdo the heavy kidneys, then we're going to start to tilt our pelvis to 12 o'clock. Not only then, but only then when we don't use our iliacus, our hip flexor that does the 6 o'clock action, if we can't sustain the iliacus or we're overriding it with our abdominals, right? This is a very tricky game, and we got to play it. So sits bones heavy, and then kidneys heavy, and then see already, boom, abdominal work. And maybe your shoulders are coming up a little bit as you bring your ribs down, as you soften the kidneys a little more to the floor. That's okay for now. We're not going to worry about that. That'll be another thing. So now what we're going to do is you're going to straighten the right leg almost all the way to the, almost all the way. So it's a slight bend in the knee, and then pick up your left leg into what would be kind of a table. We do want to honor our wagon wheels though. So that's very important. We're not going to just hike that left hip up. We're gonna actually hike the right hip a little bit up just to make sure we have a square hip. And then you're going to start with really little circles. You can keep both hands on either side of the mat, on either side of the body, and just starting that circle, this bent knee on the left side, we're circling the knee, we're circling the thigh bone, and feel how that wants to throw off your pelvis. So if I really let my hip go, my right hip up, as my left knee goes out to the left, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to stabilize my pelvis as good as I can. I'm stabilizing my pelvis as good as I can, and I'm moving my leg in the hip joint. Small circles first, reverse your circle. You can put your hands onto your hip bones and kind of feel, oh, am I rocking to the left here? Because that would be really easy. And if you have a hard time not rocking your pelvis, decrease the range of motion in your leg. You can make the circle the size of an egg or a ping pong ball or something. But if you feel, yep, I feel that what I have to do on the right side oblique to hold that hip in place, you can start to make that circle bigger. Keep it slow circling because you want to really pay attention to the leg and to your pelvis and to your spine. And let's do maybe 1 or 2 more circles, any size, big, small, but pay attention to your hip. This is really important. And then let's put both hands behind the left hamstrings. You're going to just cradle your leg there, and then press your hands into your leg and your leg into your hands. And you could even lift your head up and then slowly start to straighten or lengthen the leg and then bend the knee again. So we're starting with some very, easy. We're using our quad to straighten the knee. And if you actually have a bigger pillow here, you can put that under your head and take a look at your knee. Take a look at your kneecap and see if that kneecap is really going straight up, or is it tracking more, meaning like moving a little more to the outside of your leg or to the inside of your leg. Well, that's kind of important because we want to track our knee straight. Our knee joint is not meant to rotate or do any kind of weird circular motion. Now, if this is easy, if you want to add on a little bit, take your right leg and cross the right ankle just over the left ankle and just set the right foot down, not crushing the left leg, but just a little attention. And then keep doing your bend and extend. And you should right away feel, you could do this technically with an ankle weight. It's really nice doing it with the foot though, because it's kind of like just body, right? It's nothing external. It's body. Yeah, your right leg is going to apply more pressure, and you're going to have to hopefully work much harder. You might feel that in straightening and really using your quad here. I can feel my quad kind of burning already. Let's do 3 more. Super slow, super slow. How long can you make your left leg without locking your knee, tucking your pelvis, dumping your lower back? And again, we're never seeking hyperextension or full-on straight. Our hamstrings are resisting our leg, our quads, right? Last one. Very good. And then release that. And then just take a little moment. Maybe straighten both legs. And just feel that out. Double check, compare the left hip to the right hip, the left leg to the right leg, the left lower back to the right lower back, and see if there might be a little difference here. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. So let's do the other side. We're going to bend the left knee just a little bit. So there's a little traction, heel pulling down. My hamstrings are working. I'm going to float the right leg up. And then I'm going to find my wagon wheels. That means you might have to hug your left hip a little up to your left shoulder. Because naturally, the lifted knee, that hip wants to lift up into that same side armpit. And we're saying no, we're just paralleling our hip. And then you're going to start with your little circles. So easy circles, tiny. Breathing here. Visualizing the beautiful roundness of our hip joints. It's the perfect ball in the socket. It's gliding effortlessly. And each circle you're taking, you're literally dropping your thigh bone a little deeper into that joint. We're creating lots of connection in there. And then maybe do the other direction, or do the other direction. Maybe you're increasing your circle width, radius, diameter. I'm not a math genius. So easy breezy, make sure you keep track of your hip, and you should be feeling this a lot already in your belly. If you don't feel your belly, drop the kidneys a little bit and pull the wagon wheels, pull your hip bones really towards each other, and pay attention if there's any rocking to the right happening as you take your right knee out. The left hip is staying very heavy. Beautiful. And then let's do our little knee extends. You can hug your right hamstrings here with both hands. And we're going to just resist. Push the leg into your hands, your hands into your leg for some resistance. And that already should prevent hyperextension. If you were going to want to go for it, that alone should make it not happen. So turning on the hamstrings will prevent you from locking your knees. And this is why we're always doing so much hamstring work. It's literally the hamstrings are the guardian of your knees. Easy. double check, is my knee going straight up? Is that, or is the kneecap moving from either more to one side? And if it, let's say if it goes more to the right, you can take your finger and just suggest on the inner, it's called the vastus medialis, the inner quad. You can say, hey, I want that to work a little more. It can, just touch it and visualize your kneecap going straight up. And then if you wanted to add that little bit of challenge, you can take that left leg and hug it over the right ankle. And we're going to here do our extends. And again, no crazy pressure down with that left leg. You can do a little bit. And notice, wow, a little bit of pressure is very much changing this work in the right quad here. Keep pressing the leg into the hand into the leg. Watch out for your kneecap. And just super slow, especially on the lower. You're going to resist the lowering of the knee, of the shin and the foot, sorry. The knee is slowly bending. And then it's slowly extending. Very good. Let's do maybe one or two more. I never count. And one more time. And then slowly release that. Straighten both legs. Check it out. This might already have created a little bit more length in your lower back and a little more relaxation in your hip joint. We're too chronically tight in our hip because we're sitting a lot. And that's what the body has to do. It has to literally cramp the front of the hip to keep this weird position.